People are out of money. There is no way to get around this. Simple fact is that middle-class people with jobs are out of money, and it is getting worse. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and we're covering things that the mainstream media is either not looking at or doesn't really care about or doesn't even realize is going on. But as an accountant, I look at the numbers and see what's going on with the economy, and as I crunch things, there's some things that are showing up, and let's talk about that. Now, people who are on the dole, who aren't working, that just are getting unemployment, help, or they're getting, they're on the money from the government, right? They're hurting. Why? Because their payments aren't going up as fast as the prices are going out there. But it's the workers, the people who have jobs that are not dependent upon the government, that are really, really hurting. Why? Because wages are relatively flat. Real income from these jobs are basically paying about the same while the prices are going up. The cost of living increases that people on Social Security get and other employees of the government get, a lot of these jobs they're not getting. A lot of these jobs are paying about the same, and it is impacting people in very real ways. Goldman Sachs, the investment bank, came out with a topic that they had to share. They released this tips sheet to their top clients. And it was so shocking that somebody leaked it out to the press or to other people, right? And what did that show? It showed that they said that one of the best and their most conservative play, the play that they think is the best investment right now, is to short any company that is dependent upon, you guessed it, the middle-class consumer. The middle-class consumer is tapped out. They've spent more money than what they brought in, and they cannot keep spending like this forever. Most of the spending is still coming from credit cards, and this is a big, big problem. The fact that credit cards have limits, and we've seen credit card debt continue to rise, and this is making people more and more dependent upon these banks. But at some point, these banks will not be able to pay. They're not going to be able to get paid from these people because they can't pay it back. They are all moving into bankruptcy. Now, the people who didn't go into debt, the people who tightened their belt to save some money, people who put back some food reserves and such, can survive better than others. Those who cut back to cheaper meals and cut back streaming services and other luxuries that they didn't absolutely need, they're able to stay out of debt, which doesn't lock them into a death spiral like is happening to so many people. But the vast majority of people out there are in this death spiral, and it is causing serious, serious problems. The middle-class consumer cannot keep this up. And this is going to impact stores from Walmart to grocery stores to restaurants especially. We're seeing restaurants closing out stores more and more. We've had reports out there that it's getting hard to find jobs too. And I know every time we say that, a bunch of you hop on and like, there's plenty of jobs posted. And yet, whenever I talk to people who have actually tried to apply for those jobs, they say that nobody ever gets back to them. People who get jobs before they quit their jobs usually are in pretty good shape. But the problem is when people get laid off or lose their jobs, they're finding that a large number of these jobs that are posted aren't posted in good faith. It has been recently estimated that of the jobs posted on Indeed.com, which is one of the best places to get jobs, right? Or at least it was last time I applied for a job, right? They're saying that up to 50% of those postings are ghost jobs. Jobs that those companies aren't even really hiring for. They're posting them for various reasons. One, to make their company seem like they're stronger than they really are. To make employees at their company feel like their company is stronger than it really is. And this is a very cheap way for them to make it look like they're strong and growing, even when they're not. And that is causing us to see these companies that are seemingly stable are truly actually struggling. Any company that is dependent upon the middle class, we're seeing this with like companies like security companies like ADT. We're seeing this from other companies, right? Companies that that can't keep on going because the income is just not there. So what are we supposed to do with all this? We can't keep focusing in on expecting the middle class consumer to bail everybody out in all situations. Instead, what we're finding is that companies either need to be pitching themselves to high class people who are invested in companies, because those who are invested in companies are actually the ones that are reaping the benefit from this inflation, or people who are benefiting from, or like super discounted stores that are benefiting from those people on food stamps and people coming in from the other countries and such like that, that are then getting government money that they can then spend at these discount stores. So what do we do about it? Well, recently it's been this idea that what we should be doing is we should be investing in the stock market so that we are kind of these corporate owners as well. Of course, I've said just earlier this week that I think that's a really bad idea at this point, because these companies, many of them are not in the good shape that people think that they are. And so that is going to lead to a very bad ending right there, I think, too. In addition to that, they're saying, Goldman Sachs is saying, so short any companies that are dependent upon middle-class consumers, which is their admission that middle-class consumers won't have much money to spend in the near future. They're going to be spending on essentials, and that's about it. Also, this means banks are going to be in for a world of hurt. As people start defaulting at increased rates, more and more defaults, this means that we're going to be seeing that that these banks are going to have big loans that are going to go belly up. So as we look around the entire economy, you see the three economies, so to speak. You have the ultra rich, who have tons and tons of money, who buy their yachts and buy their fourth and fifth home, buy their beachfront properties and all that. And then you have the middle class economy, which has usually been the main driving engine to America. Like if you want to sell stuff, that's the way you make money, is to sell to the middle class, right? Not too cheap, but not super expensive or out of their reach either. And then you have the lower class, the budget options, the people that are just skimming by. And of course, you catch the middle class going down and living like they're in the lower class. I mean, I still shop at all those places, and there's no shame in that whatsoever. If it works, right? Anyway, but we're seeing that middle class hollowed out, and they're being pushed down into the lower class, even though they're resisting moving down there. And they're not getting government help either, right? So this money is disappearing. This whole section and segment of the United States market, financial market, is going to be disappearing shortly. This is a warning, friends. This can't go by without the U.S. stock market taking a big hit. A lot of these companies are the mainstay companies that you know. And when they take this hit and the stock market reacts to it, it's going to bring a lot of the stock market down. So the best thing you can do is side gigs, right? Own your own company. I know a lot of people don't want to own their own company, but having a small business on the side where you can set the prices and jobs that you're not employed by someone else, right? You're not getting a wage. You're actually earning what you keep. Small business on the side. This is what they did in the Soviet Union. This was very interesting. One of the reasons why the Soviet Union was able to survive as long as it did was the fact that the government forced you to have a job which you got paid very little at, you couldn't survive on. But then everybody had a side job. Everyone had like a side business. And this created this black market, but everybody knew about it. Everybody participated in it. And so everyone would go to their 9-to-5 job, do their job that they have to do, which helped the economy a little bit. But then they would go home and then they would work their side job. And this side job is where they got the money to live off of. And the thing is that they were forced as like a tax to the government to work this low-paying government job or work in a collective or something like that. But then the black market was where the food came from. It was what met the needs of people and was responsive to market needs because people were just using cash and they were trading with each other and they were doing things that were mutually beneficial to their entire community. And this made the Soviet Union survive a lot longer than it did. And we need to start getting that same kind of thinking going. Your day job may not make ends meet. You may need to have this side job, this entrepreneurial small business, whether it's a homestead, whether it's you selling eggs on the side or selling bird meat or raising rabbits or growing garden stuff and then selling at the farmer's market, whatever, or making candles, and there's so many different things you could do, but finding those things that will actually be a benefit to people, especially the things that people really want to have done by hand or done locally. And so that's why food is such a great opportunity there. I don't know if you guys have looked into microgreens. I was actually scaling up to do microgreens back before I started this YouTube channel. And I have all the equipment and it's all just kind of sitting down there. But microgreens, if you're near a city, you can make a lot of money doing that. I mean, just go look at Curtis Stone, the urban farmer, has a bunch of videos on that. But then there are lots of other people who have posted stuff about microgreens. You can grow microgreens rapidly and fast. You have to run it like a business. But if you do, and you do a good job and you do good marketing with it, you can actually make a lot of money doing it. And you might actually be able to quit your job because you'll make more money doing microgreens. And it's not all that expensive to get started up either. You can kind of bootstrap it for a while and then you can upgrade things as you go to make things better. But just side businesses like that, I think, are what's really critical. This YouTube channel started off as a side business for me. Like I said, I was selling some things on Amazon. I was experimenting with microgreens. I had done several iterations of practice with the microgreens before I started this YouTube channel. And then I moved, and when I moved, things got all chaotic, and I started realizing that this YouTube channel was probably a little more promising than the microgreens. So anyway, side businesses are crucial in times of economic instability, and especially if you're able to shift and pivot to places where people really want, and people are worried about their food. So if you can offer them clean meat that you can guarantee was grown healthily with no chemicals and no pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, people will pay top dollar for that, to know where their food comes from. You would, and I would too, right? So that is a thought right there. If you have other ideas of businesses people can do on the sides, pop them down in the comments down below. And if you're looking for something, look through the comments because you might find some information there that may prove useful to you. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.